Prepare yourself for probably, in my opinion, one of the best days of your life. I've been doing this for a while, but I tell you what, it's a drug. It's my drug. To no kidding, climb in one of these things and get shot off an aircraft carrier. I'm screaming down the stroke, just like you will tomorrow, for different reasons. It is truly a kick in the pants, and one of the things that I like about this program is it gives us a chance to brag. 25 years ago or so, I'm here to tell you honestly that the information you probably saw would have been filtered. And I'm not saying rightfully or wrongfully so that it was. Today, no. Today you're going to see everything from A to Z. We got no secrets. In fact, I'm proud to say that we're going to expose everything for you to see. Because not only are we proud of it, but never before in the history of the Navy have we had as educated as force. Never before in the history of the Navy have we had as exposed force to provide you a true perspective. Who's seen the movie Top Gun? Hey, I watch it weekly. Another part of my drug. But I tell you what Hollywood wants you to see, the Gucci, sexy aspect of flying off aircraft carriers, you're going to see that. But you're also going to see what brings this inanimate object, this thing called an aircraft carrier and airplanes to life. And it's human beings from every state in the Union, hard charging. People one day walking down the street, relatively uneducated. Sure, they might have degrees and whatnot, but they're not trained specifically in terms of the mission they need to accomplish. And so we take those people, train them, and then throw them into harm's way for our benefit. And I'm telling you right now, I embrace that mission. I love it. I obviously grew up thinking about it. And you're going to get a chance to meet and greet and talk with some really cool people that bring these machines to life. And what I would try to empower you with is this sense of ask them the hard question. Besides, hey, what's your name, where you're from? Do you like what you're doing? For instance, if you see a young sailor cleaning the toilets and you ask them the hard question, do you like what you're doing? You're going to get an honest answer. What do you think I'm doing? But the beautiful part about it is we didn't hire you to clean toilets. That's just what you're doing now. You will eventually graduate towards that skill set that we hired you for. And I tend to think what you'll see is a young sailor going, oh, what do I get myself involved? Hey, what does Navy stand for, by the way? Never again volunteer yourself? You know, you get that young sailor, what I got myself into? But say 3, 4, 5 years later, pretty soon you sense this young person going, man, I got a sense of pride. I'm defending freedom. I'm representing the great state of Texas. I'm out there doing the good deed with a group of people. I'm in the news. I got a lot of sense of pride in what I'm doing. It's very visible. I tend to think as you walk through your tour and you see these sailors with different degrees of experience, you'll find that there's this sense of internal pride in what they do. Now, I got to be honest with you. A sailor that's not giving you the full story is not a true sailor. You're also going to hear what they don't like. Carriers are pretty loud. Space is a premium. Privacy is a premium. I don't know about you, but when you walk through that 81-man berthing, yeah, you and 80 of your best buds all sharing a space, pretty close-knit. And so I tend to think after about 3 or 4 months, after 3 or 4 days, when that guy snores, that guy's, oh, you get that guy's, ooh, that guy, hygiene, pal. You really soon realize that you get to know each other pretty good. And so there's qualities of life that you enjoy and embrace about the carrier and the carrier's life, and then there's qualities that you don't. And I'm happy to tell you, you're going to get the true, honest story.
Sure. What is the flight op? Can you explain a little bit about the difference in what the flight ops will be that our Navy League DBs will see as they go aboard? Are these first timers? Are they qualifying? What's the...
Great question. You are actually going to see, and no kidding, real live aircraft carrier conducting real live flight ops aboard a real live nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. These ships, regardless whether you're going to Stennis or Reagan, what you're going to see is, no kidding, takeoff and landing of aircraft of pilots that range in all levels of experience. I mean, they've trained, they're qualified, but they've never been over there. They've done a lot of training here. And these folks, we tend to look more towards them on just getting aboard the boat. That's the no kidding true test of a carrier aviator, a fixed wing carrier aviator. Rotary wing as well, but a little bit different. Fixed wing aircraft, to get aboard an aircraft carrier, that's the true test of skill and performance. You can go through the entire flight school syllabus, all the way to the end, and the last thing you do tends to be carrier qualifications. If you're unable to carrier qualify, meaning safely and successfully with a degree of predictability, get aboard the boat, you're done being a naval aviator. No questions. So these folks that you're going to see have successfully accomplished that, some of which don't have very many traps under their belt. And so they tend to be a little bit colorful, a little dicey around the edges, working real hard, but they're safe and they're predictable. After doing it for so many years, it's kind of funny because old guys, you know, one eye and a wet thumb, you know, and this thumb is better than that one and that one, but you can kind of ballpark it. It gets to be fun during the day. I'm not going to lie to you. It's better than the e-ticket ride at Disneyland. Are you kidding me? And then you're going to reward me with a cat shot, which is 1 potato, 2 potato. Oh my gosh, let's do it again. And you're going to get a chance to see both of those things. Nighttime, no. You can have those. Yeah, that's where you're in your money. They turn, you know, when you get rid of that big bright thing in the sky, throw some clouds out there, give me a little bad weather, stand by. Yeah, I'll get, you know, I got one good one in me, one good pass, and I don't want to go around. Yeah, it can get pretty dicey because you take away your peripheral vision. You know, it's kind of like when you're driving. Here's one for you. How many people have been driving home and you get home and you're like, man, I don't even remember the trip at all because you were daydreaming and whatnot. We all do it, trust me. You do that in an airplane on the ball, yeah, it's going to be your last time. Too dynamic. Things move. You're flying, and the runway, by the way, is moving away from it. It's 11 degrees cocked, so you're constantly having to do this. Because to line up on the runway sounds good, but the ship is moving, you know, about 11 degrees the other way. So you're constantly having to do one of these numbers. You know, the faster you fly, the shorter the amount of time you're on the ball. So you want to get on the ball and get on the deck quickly. Otherwise, you're making all kinds of corrections. You're going to see airplanes do some things very close that you're not going to, what the? Yeah, hey, I can do what it takes. The airplane you're going to fly in has a wingspan of 80 feet. Center line. You know, these, right out here in Lindbergh, you know, I could be 20 feet off the center line. Hey, it's not working, it's okay, I got a lot of cement, right? No, the airplane you're flying in, 5 feet. You're 5 feet off the center line. Bad things start happening. It's got to be on the center line. It's non-negotiable.
I'm Doug Crawford, Special Assistant President of the Navy League of the United States, Washington, D.C. The League is made up of 50,000 American civilians around the world in 250 different councils. The group that you see here at the table, Santa Barbara Navy League, largest Navy League in the world, without a deep water port. The League's purpose is to educate the American public and the leaders of our nation about the needs of our maritime nation. These people, all of these 50,000, and by the way, 450 of America's finest corporations as corporate members of the League, support and serve men and women that serve aboard these ships, that serve on the ground in the Marine Corps, that do our Coast Guard protection, that also serve in the Army and the Air Force. So we serve all active duty service members and their families, active duty, reserve units. And the purpose of our help and our mission and reason for being here, and the honor of having this opportunity with all of you to be here, is to be able to get the word out about what you just heard spoken and the experience that you're going to have. So we encourage you, look up Navy League of the United States. If you're interested, this is the first television program. There have been 60 programs, 4 of them about the USS Ronald Reagan, done in the past. This is the first one of a DV. So whether you're going on the Reagan or the Stennis, you're interested in receiving a DVD of the television program, get your business card to me, or Doug at DougCrawford.com. Thank you very much.
Were you talking about the Reagan Ranch?
No. No, not that.
Everybody buckled, being safe?
All right, welcome everyone. My name is Lieutenant Commander Jason Buckley. I'm the officer in charge of BRC 30 Detachment 1. What our mission is to take high priority cargo, passengers, and mail out to the carrier. So when the carrier is out, we're what supply the boat and the aircraft out there with the parts and the people that they need to continue their mission. Obviously, there are supply ships that can come along and give the ship food and other parts that they don't really need at a moment's notice, but what we take out is things that they need right now, quickly. So I'll have 44 people on my detachment. We have 6 pilots, we have 2 air crewmen, and then we have about 7 petty officer air crewmen who are in charge of loading, unloading, anything in the aft part of the aircraft. we'll go out here probably in another week here and go out with the Reagan and deploy with them and supply logistics to them. Our mission for today is to make sure that you guys get out and have an informative trip, a fun trip, but most importantly a safe trip. So if you see something you don't like, you see something that looks a little bit odd or concerns you, make sure you let someone know. We're going to keep you guys all kind of huddled in together in single file lines, and please don't take offense to that, but we just want to make sure that everyone's going along safely. There are a lot of things that could happen badly on the boat, and we don't want that to happen to you, but all these trips are usually an awesome time for all you guys. Who's been out before? Or I guess who hasn't been out before? So there are a lot of folks, this is their first time. So what's going to happen here is the parent officers are going to give you a safety briefing on some of the equipment and some of the aircraft equipment, just much like in a civilian plane. We'll put you in the aircraft. We'll shut the door. There's only 2 windows on there, so don't let that scare you. You may see a little condensation from smoke and whatnot. You're going to be facing backwards. What that does is it helps secure the seat on the track. We'll go from about 120 miles an hour to 0 at about 300 feet. Some cars can't even do that. So what's done is, obviously you guys know about the hook. The hook comes down. There's wire about 1 inch around. There's 3 of them, and we try to catch 1 of them. Usually we do. So the pilot's going on with you is I was explaining to one of the gentlemen. He's a newer guy, but he's very good. So you guys are in good hands. He's done this twice.
When's the Stennis trip?
Stennis trip is 15 minutes after you guys. If you want to slide a little bit, you can. Yeah, you guys are in great hands. You guys are in excellent hands. So you'll get in the aircraft, you're going to go out there, it's going to be about a 45-minute flight. You'll feel the plane do some things, and you'll feel it kind of move around more this way, which is something that you usually don't feel in a commercial airplane. We have a lot of yaw back and forth on either side of the aircraft. So you'll feel a lot of that coming down, and the pilot's just trying to keep it on a perfect glide slope at a perfect angle of attack so that hook can come down and grab that wire and you guys stop. If he does miss the wire, which he won't, you'll feel the power come back on the aircraft, and you'll go back around and do it again. 600 feet, back around again. Whole pattern takes about a minute and a half. So it's a very, it may seem a little odd, but we know what we're doing for the most part. So, you'll get in, like I said, you'll strap in backwards. You'll go out there. Once you stop, just make sure that everyone stays in their seat, much like in a commercial airplane. Stay in your seat until someone tells you to get on out, and we'll get you out. The ramp will come open. You'll see the aircraft carrier. You'll see people moving all around, people in different colored shirts. That's just the folks that are in charge of different things on the deck there. We'll park the aircraft, tie it down, and then the ramp will come fully down. The air crewman will then cordon you out. You'll be met by the captain, and you'll go off and have a good trip. And then tomorrow, we'll take you back off again. I'm sure there'll be someone to brief you, but I'll be flying you off, so I'll look forward to it. Are there any questions, any concerns, any problems or anything that we want to talk about right now? Yes, sir.
Are there any air sickness bags aboard?
Yes, we have air sickness bags aboard.
How far out is the boat?
It's about 45 minutes. It'll be about 45-minute flight. If you guys do need to stand up and stretch out, please do so. Just let them know. Obviously, in the takeoff and landing portions, please don't do that. But if you do need to stand up, that's okay. There isn't a lot of room on board. You'll notice that this is we do use this plane for carrying stuff. So you'll notice that it's not quite as nicely apportioned as a commercial airline, but it has everything you need as far as safety and basic comforts. So, all right. Professor Berger is going to be giving you a safety briefing, and like I said, if you guys do have any questions or concerns over any of the safety gear, or you do feel uncomfortable about something going on, please make sure you talk to someone. Grab someone in a flight suit. If at any point on the deck you feel uncomfortable or you get blown around or something, just go down on one knee, raise a hand, and someone will come up and grab you. No harm, no foul. I've done it plenty of times, and folks know what's going on. Someone will come up, grab you, and take you to where you need to go, and make sure you're safe and sound. So, Professor Berger.
All right, everybody, I'm Petty Officer Berger. I'm going to give you guys your safety brief on your PAX gear, and then just talk to you a little bit about the aircraft in general. So my brief should be pretty short, so don't worry, it'll be relatively painless. All right, first thing I'm going to go over is the cranial. I'm sure very few or none of you have put one on before, but it's just like a helmet, so it just protects your head in case something falls on it or you trip and fall yourself. Pretty simple to put on. Small part goes on the front of your head, big part goes on the back of your head. It'll look like this, the Mickey Mouse ears or earmuffs. Go right on over your head. Comes on, goggles come down, and then this chin strap will go right through this metal D-ring right here. Just loop up and through, and then just buckle in, all right? I know it's not the most fashionable piece of equipment, but it definitely gets the job done, and I'm sure everybody would rather be safe and secure than, you know, look pretty and get hurt, so.
They say one size fits none, right?
Exactly, so good luck. All right, the float coat, it's just same thing as a life preserver pretty much. There's no front or back to it, just make sure it's unzipped. And, oh, by the way, make sure you put this on before you put the cranial on, because it doesn't like to fit, and you're gonna struggle pretty bad. Once you put this on, just zip it up. There's a little buckle right here, it's just like a normal little clip, just clip it right around your waist, and you can tighten it or loosen it as necessary. If you need to, we have extensions right over there as well. Just give either myself, Lieutenant Commander Buckley, or Petty Officer Dondi, and one of us will be more than happy to help you out. In case of a water landing, which is very unlikely, by the way, I guarantee it won't happen, but there's beaded handles right here. You can just pull these beaded handles away from you, and this is going to inflate CO2 cartridges around your neck, okay? And if it doesn't inflate for whatever reason, it's not a big deal. There's just metal or a little Velcro right here. Just run your finger up and through, and there's oral inflation tubes on each side. They're like little straws. Just blow into them. And you can inflate it yourself. It's also good to keep noted that even if it does inflate and there's a little bit of a leak in the life preserve as well, you can still keep it inflated on your own. So just, you know, something to keep in the back of your mind. Inside these tool pouches right here, or tool pouches, but inside this little pouch right here, each one should have a tamper seal on it. If it doesn't, not a big deal, just don't open it up and play with it, please. It's safety or survival equipment. You have a whistle, a chem light, and a sea dye marker. The whistle, pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure everybody here has blown a whistle before, but it's a lot louder than your voice, so you can keep everybody rounded up in a relatively easy manner. The chem light, it's like a glow stick. Just crack it open, shake it up, so the helo can see you at night if need be. And then the sea dye marker, it's like a yellow bag. Just pop it open like a bag of chips. Teabag it in the water, and it puts a big green film around you. You guys wanted an example? See Top Gun when Maverick and Goose crash? Perfect example of the teabag work, or I mean, the sea dye marker working at its best. So that's pretty much it as far as the survival gear goes. If anybody has any questions, if your gear looks broke or if there's something wrong with it or you're having trouble putting it on for whatever reason, just get either myself, Petty Officer Dondi, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to take care of whatever you need. As far as the plane goes, there's going to be a bunch of stuff that's going to be exposed as far as hide lines and bleed air lines and things of that nature. Just don't stick your hand up in there, please, because it can be really hot and there's going to be high PSI, so or pressure that's going through there. So if there'd be like a pinhole leak or something like that, I'd feel bad if, you know, something happened. I don't think anything relatively bad would happen, sort of say, but you never know. And if you do see something that you're uncomfortable with, just send a signal up to the air crewman and get our attention, and we'll be more than happy to take a look at it. And if it needs to be fixed or explain it to you, whatever need be, we can definitely do that. While you're on the boat as well, and you're walking around on the flight deck, like Lieutenant Commander Buckley said, if you get lost or something happens, just to reach down and grab a pad-eye. If something happens and you don't even realize that you got kind of separated or you didn't even realize you're doing something wrong, you might feel somebody come up and grab you kind of forcefully. And it might sound like they're yelling at you, but it's just because the flight deck is really loud. That's the only way they can communicate. So don't take offense to anybody grabbing you a little bit forcefully or seeming like they're yelling at you, just because it's really loud. It's a really tense environment up there, and they just don't want to get you hurt. So I'm sure they'll bring you back to flight deck control, give you a handshake, and send you on your way. But they're just looking out for your best interest. So please don't take offense to that, because there's no harm, no foul in that as well. All right. Anybody have any questions?
What's your sequence, shoulder harness and seat belt versus inflating them?
Make sure you unlatch, make sure you unlatch your seat belt, and then this is going to be part of your brief inside the aircraft, but you're going to use your seat as a ladder to get out of the aircraft. Once you're out of the aircraft, then inflate the life preserver, because it can make it almost nearly impossible to get out. So
7 minutes or so if anyone needs to use the restroom.
Okay.
These are a little scratched. Does it not matter?
That means they work.
the helmet goes toward the front. The big portion goes toward the back. You can go ahead and just keep the helmet off for now because it'll be a little bit uncomfortable. Go ahead and everyone put on your vest.
This is what it's all about, getting ready, getting geared up. Oh, man. Getting geared up. Hey,
How do I look?
you look better than I did, I'll tell you that. You're not sweating, I was nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
I grew up flying, and I grew up my father was a pilot, and he was a husband. So.
Okay, well, so nothing to fear. And by the way, these guys all have still a level of confidence, don't they?
Well, my father used to do stalling maneuvers when and I'd be and wouldn't tell me, and I was maybe 8 years old. And I'm going, well, okay, he's trying to kill me, doesn't love me, and that's that.
Doug Crawford here. We've just completed a briefing here at Naval Air Station, North Island. What an event it was, and what an honor to be standing here with Phil Condon, the prior CEO and chairman of Boeing. And I would like to know, sir, after hearing the briefing of this distinguished visitor trip, just exactly what is in your mind.
First off, I'm excited, and this is really a special thing. The primary fleet aircraft we're going to look at is the F/A-18. That was a Boeing airplane. I've seen them in production. I'm getting to see them in action. Just the things that a carrier air group does are amazing to me. So I can't tell you how excited I am to see this.
Well, it's an honor. I think when you think of what the League does within the thousands of Americans, Boeing, of course, is one of our corporate members, has been for many, many years. The idea of educating Americans and American leaders about the needs of our maritime nation is part of the reason that your distinguished group is going out there. Do you have anything in mind that you want to see, or especially that you would like to do while you're out there?
I'm looking forward to meeting the sailors, to talking to the people that are out there doing this job. It's incredible what they do. And the fact that they do this voluntarily, they are key to defending this nation and what we believe in. And so just being able to talk to them is really exciting for me.
All right, sir. Well, we look forward to getting some more film on board while you're out there, and then especially hearing back from you after the trip.
You bet.
So,
thank you.
Fair winds and following seas.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, this is about it. I'm here with Phil Q, formerly of EMI and Virgin Atlantic Records and Warner Records, and I know that I feel like I'm kind of a little old to be sitting here talking about something that's probably pretty scary to me. I don't know about you. You're about ready to get on a cod. What do you think about this, Phil?
Well, it's pretty exciting stuff. It's a little scary, landing on a little slab of cement in the middle of the ocean with no safety net. That's a little scary.
Well, this is an opportunity that few people have the opportunity to be able to do this, so we're really pleased. The Santa Barbara Navy League is really pleased that you're going to be going out with us. And is there something in particular that you've thought of that you'd like to do while you're aboard the ship?
No, I'm an aviation buff anyway, so I'm excited to be just out on the deck with the planes and watch all the hard work the young folks do out there. It's something I've always imagined would be pretty exciting, so I'll find out for myself today.
All right. Well, this is what it's all about. It is all about them and supporting and serving them. So we're really honored to have you here. We'll be talking with you during the trip, and look forward to talking with you afterwards as well. So fair winds and following seas.
Thank you so much. Look forward to it.
How do we partner to be able to support and serve the men and women who serve our country so well? Well, Navy League is honored to be now partnering with the USO, and who we have here is Kevin Winsing, Vice President of USO, Special Assistant to the President of USO. And Kevin, what do you think about this DV and the trip that they're about to make?
Well, Doug, thank you very much. This is another step in the partnership between the USO and the Navy League, and it all started thanks to you and our friend Gary Silversmith with the USS Sequoia and the Wounded Warrior Cruise just a few months ago when you called up and we were able to bring some of our friends from the USO out to the Ronald Reagan for a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It just, kind of builds those bonds, and it's a natural. The USO was established in 1941 by FDR, with 6 organizations. We're trying to identify the best-in-class organizations like the USO and the Navy League to work together to help our troops, our wounded warriors, their families of fallen. So the more we can do together and bring the strengths that each of us has it's better for our troops. And that's the bottom line.
Well, I can't tell you, Kevin, you've got a lot of history with the Santa Barbara Navy League and with the Navy League of the United States. You've been blessed with some very important positions as Public Affairs Officer for the Secretary of the Navy and Deputy Secretary of Defense.
Right, for the Deputy Secretary of Defense, and now I'm a lifetime Navy League member, and as soon as I retired from the Navy a couple years ago, I joined the Navy League, signed up for a lifetime, and happy to support the Navy League because it's an important mission. You know, people, I think, around the country don't realize how dependent we are on the sea for our survival, for our freedom, and having a strong Navy, Marine Corps, sea services, the Coast Guard, Merchant Marine, so important to our country and our future. And having a young child, you know, I want to make sure that our country's safe for years ahead, and so the Navy League does an important mission.
Well, and I'd like to speak to what the USO does and has done for many, many years, 70 years, as you point out. We're 103 now, so we're a little bit older, but what the USO continues to do around the world for the morale and welfare of our American service members, no matter where in the world they are, is just an amazing feat. So we applaud you, and our motto is support and serve. Your motto is until the last one comes home. I think the combination of support and serve until the last one comes home is
Can't beat that. And you know, the Navy League's like our big brother. And I want to say hi to all my friends in the Santa Barbara Navy League. Hello, thanks for everything you do. God bless you all.
God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Well, we could, but the Navy has a low threshold that they don't like to go under unless it's an extreme emergency. And usually when you're talking aviation fuel, we're nuclear reactors, so we don't need diesel fuel to propel the ship. We still have diesel fuel in case we need to fire up the diesel engines and get it moving, but because we're almost always running on the reactors, we basically can keep on going. The only fuel we need is for the jets. And we need to make sure that we are constantly topped off in case that something happens. We will not go more than a week without a replenishment at sea to make sure we are always topped off with fuel if we got called into some kind of a situation in the South China Sea.
And will you do that will you refuel underway?
Yes. Yep. They will have their ship moving at a certain speed. It's usually about 10 knots, and then we will come up behind them, and then we will just match up speeds with them so that we are going parallel at the exact same speed. And we've got watchstanders on both ships that are making sure that the pole they've got and the pole we've got specifically for that purpose are always lined up. If they start to move a little bit forward, they'll cut back speed and move back a little bit, and we'll always stay lined up. That's most important because we have fuel lines, several fuel lines that are coming across. And if they get too far out of whack, now the fuel's not going to come across efficiently. We've also got cables that are bringing pallets across. And sometimes we've got helos bringing pallets across as well. But if any of those cables and those wires and those fuel lines get too far out of whack, next thing you know, we could be dumping stuff in the ocean, and there's no going back for it. And it'll always be an American ship unless we have an agreement with some of those countries. Like we've had agreements with countries such as Japan in the past, where their resupply ship will come and resupply us on the way. It's a lot of, we call it a barge